What up? Happy Saturday. Time for that daily bread. Gonna get it in his hallway, man. He went on from there and entered their synagogue, and a man was there with a withered hand. And they asked him, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" So that they might accuse him. They, by the way, is the Pharisees. These were like the super religious, churchy people that they hated Jesus. Because they ain't like the people who were actually starting to listen to him, because then they were losing their control over him, and that's a whole nother story. But anyway, he said to them, "Which one of you who has a sheep, if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will not take hold of it and lift it out? Of how much more value is a man than a sheep? So is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath?" Excuse me. So it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. Then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And the man stretched it out, and it was restored, healthy like the other. But the Pharisees, see, that's what I'm talking about, went out, and what they do? They conspired against him, how to destroy him. Haters. Okay, so I got a lot I want to talk about with this, so I'm going to talk fast. 1, where was the man at? The synagogue, aka church. I hear a lot of people say, "I'm trying to hear from God, but I can't. But I won't step foot in a church." Me personally, if I was like, "Man, I'm really trying to get in shape, but I just don't see any changes," I would hope somebody loved me enough to tell me, "You ever thought about going to the gym?" And I know the next thing people are going to say is, "I don't have to go to church to find God or hear from God." True. I don't have to go to the gym to get in shape or be around people that are going to help encourage me get in shape, but it's a good place to start. And this passage specifically clearly shows you, if you're trying to find Jesus, church is not a bad place to start. I say this all the time. You can't be in the right place at the right time if you're not in the right place. So I say, just stay in the right place as much as possible. 2, wolves in sheep's clothing existed in Jesus' time too. They're the ones, as you read in this passage, who hated on him and who wanted him dead, and ultimately are the ones responsible for his death. And guess what? There's still wolves in sheep's clothing today. But if the man in this passage had the same attitude as so many people and didn't go because of that excuse, he'd miss out on his blessing. So stop using "the church is full of hypocrites" or "wolves in sheep's clothing" or "they're just after my money" as an excuse, and just go. Go and worship Jesus. Forget about the other people there. You can weed out the wolves and the sheep when you actually spend enough time around them to figure that out. Going back to the gym analogy, if I just sat on the couch and was like, "There's a bunch of people on steroids, I'm not going," who's that hurt? Them or me? So stop making excuses. God will sort out the hypocrites and the wolves and the false teachers and whatever else other excuse you have for not going in his timing. That's up to him, not you. What's up to you is getting there, finding Jesus, following Jesus, and being faithful to that. Don't worry about what other people are doing. That has nothing to do with you. Lastly, the Sabbath. And this is the most important part to me. Today, the day I'm filming this and posting this, is a Saturday. And it is technically the Sabbath. And the reason I say technically the Sabbath is because, yes, it is the Sabbath. And yes, it is important. It's in the top 10 commandments. But Jesus stopped right here, specifically in this part in scripture, to take a moment to teach a very valuable lesson to take away. People, not God, people with good intentions, I believe, at least originally, in the effort to make people stick to the 10 commandments faithfully, added a few extra commandments. 603 extra commandments to be exact. Obviously, with the pressure of all these rules, that turned what was supposed to be a relationship and way of life into a rule-keeping game that these Pharisees like to wag their finger at everybody else and say, "Look how good we are, look how much we obey the rules," even though behind closed doors they were breaking them as well. God said, "Rest from work on the Sabbath day, keep it holy." In other words, take that time to spend with him and rest and don't work. These rules turned it into literally, if you picked a mat up that you were laying down on, that was considered work, and you were now breaking the Sabbath. Needless to say, it got ridiculous. That's what Jesus was addressing by saying, who of you would just leave one of your sheep if it fell in a ditch because it's a Sabbath? And then pointed out the fact, how much more important is a person? So in short, yes, we should rest on the Sabbath, but if your whole reason of doing so, or your whole reason of following any of God's commandments is to show how good of a rule follower you are, according to Matthew 12, Jesus is saying you're missing the whole point. All right? Love y'all.